Well, it would be rude of me not to take a look.
This shit still boggles my mind.
Every single thing he brings up in this video is not actually a double standard, both in that he's comparing two entirely different things, and also the comparison that he's making isn't even real as far as I can tell.
As far as he can tell.
So let's break this down.
I am ready to be educated.
If a girl wants a guy who's older, it's a preference. If a guy wants a girl who's younger, it's creepy and immature.
So what are some reasons that some women would like to date older men?
Ah, gee, I do hope he doesn't contradict himself.
Well, as I see it, there are a few that should be fairly intuitive. Older men tend to be more mature, they can offer more stability, they're more likely to be willing to settle down and go into a serious relationship.
More mature, more stability, more willing to settle down and go into a serious relationship. Gotcha.
Now, let's think about the opposite. What are some reasons why some men would exclusively want to date younger women?
And here's where he fucks up.
Guess what? They're different reasons.
And they're for different reasons. So it's not because they're more mature, have more stability, more willing to settle down and go into a serious relationship. Think about what you've just said. You've gone from one extreme to the other. You've positioned a statement which is acceptable and followed through with one that is less than acceptable just to dismiss what the guy is saying. Interesting.
This isn't even a real double standard beyond that. If you are 30 years old and you go out with a woman who's 26, literally nobody will bat an eye.
It's true.
People think it's weird when men in their 30s go out with girls still in college. They're matching with 19-year-olds on Tinder. It's like, dude, why is your age range that low? Oh, but why is her age range that high? Dude, she's 19. She's lived 60% of the life that he has.
Yeah, I agree with him there because that sort of scenario is a bit iffy. But this is what has just happened. He's presented an acceptable scenario and then he's followed through with an unacceptable scenario. Now, let me put forth another one. A 40-year-old man is chasing a 25-year-old girl. That would be classed as iffy, right? But if a 25-year-old girl was chasing a 40-year-old man, that would be okay. That's the double standard. You know, like a woman coming onto the internet and saying that I want a sugar daddy and it's all okay. But if a man come onto the internet and said I wanted a sugar baby, we all know what will happen. Come on, dude.
Yes, if I knew women in their 30s that were actively seeking out men that were 19, 20, 21 years old, that would be weird.
No shit, Sherlock, but that's the straw man argument that you've inserted yourself. But let's add to this a little bit more. If a 40-year-old man was chasing a 25-year-old lady, he'd be classed as creepy. If a 40-year-old lady was chasing a 25-year-old man, she'd be classed as a cougar and be praised for it. Double standards do not exist, according to this guy.
Girl doesn't want to date a short guy. It's a preference. If a guy doesn't want to date a girl that's overweight, he's an asshole.
All right, so let's explain exactly why preferences on weight and height are not the same thing.
Oh, he's got something right. They are not the same thing.
When a woman says that they prefer to date somebody that's taller than them, that is genuinely a preference. What does that mean? That they would prefer that their boyfriend be taller than them. That's pretty much it.
This is where he fucks up.
And why? Generally speaking, it seems like the reason stems from that they like to hug upwards. They like to reach up when they hug somebody. It's pretty inconsequential things.
Well done. You've just entered the realm of sociobiology, where a woman would like a man to feel protective of them. But why are women that's 5'1" wanting men over 6 feet? Heels? This a foot tall? Come on now. Just to emphasise the amount of bullshit this guy's spewing, the average height of a man in the world is 5'9". The average height of a woman in this world is 5'4". So why do so many of us men on dating apps get asked the question, how tall are you? Well, statistically, we're always going to be taller than you. But it's so funny how so many men, when they say under 6 feet, they get blocked. But we don't want to acknowledge that, do we? But let's see what he goes with right now, because it gets funnier.
I don't know that. Well, I guarantee 90% of the women that say they need someone over 6 feet tall would date this man who is 5'5".
He can't be this stupid, surely. You can't, no.
Or this man. There are a million men that are under 6 feet tall that plenty of women who say they would only date someone under 6 feet tall would actually date. Why? Because it's a preference. That's really it. I was going to use him as an example also, but I don't know if he's actually attractive. Ladies, help me out.
He's right about one thing. There's lots of women out there that really don't give a monkeys about your height. But there is this trend of you need to be over 6 feet. And lots of men have experienced it. And it's been really demoralizing to them. Now, he's used a pathetic example here. He's basically tried to dismiss a situation by going, yes, but these rich, famous men don't have a problem. Wow.
Now, I've known muscular men who have said things that they would prefer to have a small and dainty girlfriend that they can throw over their shoulders. That is a preference that, by and large, people don't really have any issue with. But that's a different statement than saying, I don't date fat girls.
I don't date short guys because they can't throw me over their shoulder. I don't date fat girls because I can't throw them over my shoulder. Well, that's pretty sexist of you. These are real double standards that's happening. Why are you so blind to it?
When you say that, what you are saying is that you think fat people are disgusting.
By your own logic, you are saying that women find short men disgusting. Oh my God, you can't be this dense. This guy made a video thinking he was debunking double standards, and all he has done is evidence it further. Everything he's saying. Not everything is societal. There's biological instincts. Now, women want a taller man because they want to feel protected. Men want smaller ladies because they're healthier to birth babies. That's the biological side. Oh my God.
That's not a preference. That's just you addressing an entire segment of the population and going, hey, I want to let you know that I think you are undateable, even though you didn't ask me.
There are millions of videos of women always talking about what they do and don't like, and it's fine. But as soon as a man mentions what he doesn't like, vilify him. There's another double standard, you melon.
And yes, if I knew women that went up to overweight men and said, sorry, I don't date fat guys, that would also be a dickish thing to do.
Of course it would be. And it's also a really weird scenario to create. But here's another double standard. Women who are technically obese, big and beautiful. Men who are obese, fat and disgusting.
If a girl wants a guy who can take charge, it's a preference. If a guy wants a girl who will submit to his lead...
What planet are we on? Do we think that asking someone to take charge and making someone submit to your lead are the same thing? Are we speaking English here?
Yeah, he's right there, to be fair.
If a girl sets a boundary, it's empowering. If a guy sets a boundary, it's controlling.
Who are you dating? Because men can set boundaries.
Yeah, you're right, but social media is rife with dumping on men that do, especially when they talk about them. Bad guy, red flag, yada yada yada.
This is never a thing I've ever experienced.
And I hope you don't.
Unless, I don't know exactly what you mean by boundary. Do you mean telling women that they're not allowed to go out with their friends?
You made up another scenario.
Sure, that would be controlling, but it's a bit of a stretch to call that a quote-unquote boundary.
Yeah, but you've just made up a hypothetical to dismiss what he's saying, and again, another double standard. You can make shit up about men, what they've not said, to dismiss them. And imagine if we'd done that with a woman. You'd get called a misogynist.
I'm pretty sure men are allowed to set boundaries. I was not even aware that this is a double standard that genuinely existed.
You can't make a whole rebuttal video and end it with, I was genuinely unaware that this even existed. Hey, lady, what? You was wolf whistled? Well, I didn't know that existed. I've never seen it, so therefore it can't be true. Maybe start listening a little bit. Which ironically is another double standard. Yes, lady, anything you tell me is true. What, fella? Nah, I don't believe you.
Does help anybody who sometimes struggles to articulate why these things are not exactly double standards. Now, I know I have a lot of men that follow me, so I am fully prepared for the entirety of this comic session to just be filled with, oh my God, Yuval's first L, but this is the truth. There's not a single thing he says that is genuine.
This is the truth. There's not a single word he says that is genuine, said by a man who said, as far as I can tell, and I wasn't aware that this was a double standard that genuinely existed. That's fascinating.
And do not worry, I am living proof that short kings can indeed succeed.
I agree. I identify as 5'4", and us short dudes do succeed. But one thing I do know is that I understand that the pain and the demoralization that goes through a short guy's mind on that journey. To dismiss it is pathetic just because you succeeded. You cannot dismiss other people's negative experiences. Grow up.